Hi guys, it's Gabby. There is a crazy storm going outside on Sydney right now, and our internet is not working at all, or our power. So I'm just like, considering I have literally nothing else to do right now until we get the internet fixed, why not just record another vlog? And obviously I'll just upload it much later on down the track. And I was thinking, oh, what should I do a vlog on? And then I realized I never talked about the second Dragon Ball Z movie idea that I kept foreshadowing to in the other one, so I might as well talk about that. So, right. Idea number 2 for if I could make a Dragon Ball Z movie, what would it be about? So, what I really wish they would do, I doubt that they would, but what I really wish they would do is I wish they could actually go back in time, actually like regress in terms of just power and in terms of just everything. Because the problem with modern, if they make more now, the problem with modern DBZ movies is they keep trying to go further and further ahead in time. And that means that the villains have to become progressively more powerful. And it means the heroes have to be progressively more powerful. And you have to make more power-ups now exclusive for the movies. And other characters pretty much can't shine now unless you're Goku and or Vegeta. That's the problem. The new DBZ movies, I feel like I'm a bit worried that they're going to get into a habit of just being the Goku and or maybe Vegeta show. And I like Dragon Ball Z when it's trying to do more than just that. But enough about ragging on the new things. I'm talking about the things that I want. And that's what I want. I'm especially really interested in stuff that happens in the 7-year gap between the Cell and the Majin Buu sagas. Because I think it's just real that point in time is just really interesting. So it's just really interesting to explore and see what things happen during that time. Because, well, first of all, it's a long period of time. Anything could happen, and you could easily use the excuse that it was such a long time ago that people don't remember it, and that's why no one else brought it up, during the Majin Buu saga. Second of all, and probably most importantly, Goku is dead. So Goku can't be the hero. He can't swoop in and save the day because he's not alive. And he was not going to be alive. And that's one of the real problems I have with BoJack Unbound and with Broly 2. And not Bio Broly. Surprisingly, Bio Broly doesn't do it. And everyone hates that one still for other reasons. But those movies, they were going great until they had to have Goku show up at the last minute, even though he was supposed to be dead, and just save the day through really weird sort of Goku Ex Machina, I call it, because he's basically God. Goku just shows up, and yeah. So, right. That's why I always wanted to do something about the in-between Cell Majin Buu sagas. Goku is dead, and Gohan is the main character. I mean, whether you like it or not, during that time period, Gohan is pretty much the strongest character in the show. And he's still a kid. So, and that gets to my idea, which is my rewrite of BoJack Unbound, basically. It's not really a rewrite, but there are some ideas that are in BoJack, but just weren't done very well at all. I guess I'll just say it. I want to have a movie about Gohan dealing with his post-traumatic stress after the Cell games. And that sounded even more ridiculous when I say it out loud, but I'm sorry. Just thinking about, do you know what happened to the Cell saga? At the end of the Cell games, a lot of crap happened to the Cell games, and I'm sorry. If anyone had to go through that stuff, they would not be okay. Especially Gohan, considering that he's still a child when he has to go through all this. So let's just put it out there, okay? First of all, Gohan has to go and fight a giant evil android monster who has enough power to destroy the world. Pretty much on his own. Second of all, through that battle, he ends up becoming the strongest being in the universe. At age 11 or 9, I don't know, his age doesn't really make any sense to the Cell games, but whatever. He's the strongest being in the universe, and he's still a kid. Third of all, through that power, it makes him become a pretty much sadistic monster, and it ends up getting his father killed, just because of pretty much through his actions. And fourth, after that, his father is dead, and then he decides to not come back. I mean, sorry, for a kid? I don't care how well adjusted Gohan is. And I'm not even talking about all the stuff that Gohan had to go through ever since he was 4 years old. But there's well adjusted, and then there's just, not thinking about this realistically. Okay, yeah, maybe Gohan going through post-traumatic stress would kind of ruin his character for some people who really liked him, but I think it makes sense. They don't have to go all the way. They don't have to, actually have like Gohan getting really, really like anxious whenever he goes to a fight or anything. I feel like the way they could represent it is just pretty much sort of just two really minor things. So one, basically at the beginning, Gohan has like a sort of nightmare about some of the events of the Cell games, and then maybe if they're doing if they wanted to be really subtle, they'd like have him wake up and then like have him sort of like touching his like right arm, because that was where like Cell broke it, and so he'd be like because obviously even though his arm's healed now, it's like he still sort of feels that and sort of remembers that. Like, don't you think that would be cool? That would be this sort of subtlety that I feel like they would never actually do. That's why I think they're never going to make this movie. And second of all, and really just the most simple thing, because of all the trauma that Gohan had to go through, pretty much, he can't go Super Saiyan 2. He doesn't, it's more like, it's not that he doesn't know how to do it. I mean, he honestly might know how to do it. He does it, after all, he goes, during the Cell games, he goes back to Super Saiyan 1 after Goku dies, and then when Cell comes back, he actually goes back to Super Saiyan 2 again. So he clearly sort of remembers how to do it. But I feel like it'd be really cool and really interesting if they basically made it to that, yeah, Gohan doesn't, even if he knows how to go Super Saiyan 2, he doesn't want to because he's terrified of what happens if he loses control. Like, he's basically scared of his own power. Like, don't you think that would be just a really interesting angle that they've never done before? With someone like Goku or someone like Vegeta, it would never work because they're fine with being stronger. In fact, they want to be stronger. But if you have like someone like Gohan be the main character, you can go and put this, make this movie go in angles that you normally you wouldn't expect. You can make it a lot more subtle and just a lot more interesting. And after all, I think everyone when they were like a little boy or even a little girl, everyone wanted to see Super Saiyan 2 Gohan go around and kick ass when he was a kid. And if we get to do that again, that would be kind of amazing. Even if he's not a kid, even if he's like a few years older. Even if it's like, it could even just be just before the Majin Buu saga, but I'm sorry. One day I am waiting for my Gohan movie. It's never going to happen now, because from what I can tell, yeah, like, Toriyama probably doesn't care, and Toei and Bandai have decided that Gohan doesn't sell. Which I understand. I mean, I totally understand that, but I'm still waiting for that movie. And if it happens, I will be so excited. So, I've been talking about this for so long, I haven't really said the actual outline. It's basically Gohan is dealing with the fact his father is dead, and he had to do all that stuff with the Cell games, and he's still kind of he's a bit terrified of like the fact that he's the strongest in the universe, and there's no one who can really stop him, and he's a child, and he misses his dad. It doesn't have to be it. They don't have to like nail it in. It can be kind of subtle. Honestly, my biggest problems I have with this movie right now is I don't really know who the villain is going to be. I mean, they need a villain, but I don't know how to make a villain right now and not make him sound incredibly generic. So I guess that's something I'll think about in a later time. But let's just put it this way. Everyone is just sort of fighting him, and maybe like Gohan doesn't actually want to fight him. Like he might not even show up at the battle until the very end, because it's just like, not only is the fact that he's a child and he's scared of his own power, but remember, Gohan doesn't want to fight. That wasn't something that they just added in there in the 7 years during the Cell games when he grew up. That was something that was honestly always part of his character. So, he could have like this whole sort of thing at the end, like the sort of speech thing, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, like, when he's on his like last legs, and he's just like, oh yeah, maybe I am a bit of a pacifist, maybe I don't want to fight, but I'm not gonna let you take over my planet, whatever. And then like he goes Super Saiyan 2, and then he beats the main villain like actually pretty easily, because the villain doesn't even have to be stronger than Cell. They just have to be at least a little bit of a threat for Super Saiyan Gohan. And then it would just be like, oh, hang on, Gohan. You're like, but wait a second. I went Super Saiyan 2, and no one died this time. Yay! And then, with that, a little bit, he got over his trauma. Just a little bit. But not completely, because you can't get over stuff like that in a few weeks, even if you had another life-changing experience. Because, that's how real life works. And yes, I'm putting in real-life logic into Dragon Ball Z. Sometimes I don't know what's wrong with me. And that was my idea for Dragon Ball Z movie number 2. Honestly, in terms of my first idea seems to be a lot more developed. This one's just more like I have a concept, what I think I want it to be about, but the small details, that's something that you guys could make. Not necessarily you guys, you don't need to, but just like the people in general who are making the movie. So yeah, I'm pretty doubtful that this is ever going to happen. No one wants to make this movie. It is not going to sell. It is not going to exist. But I really wish it did. And that's all I had to talk about. So, bye guys!